Hey everybody, welcome to this week's live with the Restora Funding Facebook community. Just a little introduction for those of you who maybe you've been a member of this community for a while, or maybe you just joined and this is your first time seeing one of these. My name is Xavier Baudet. I'm a co-founder of Restora Funding along with Sophia Logan, who you'll see and hear a lot. And really the aim of this Facebook community is to help business owners and real estate investors learn how to acquire 0% interest business credit or business funding to start or scale your businesses. And so we also offer a done for you funding service, as many of you know. And this week's live stream is actually kind of starring one of our former clients who we just wrapped up with. Isaiah, if you want to go ahead and show screen and introduce yourself here.
Hey everyone, how you guys doing? My name is Isaiah Wilson. I'm based out of North Carolina. Got linked up with Xavier here from a friend of mine, so it's been a really good process, and hopefully you guys can, we can teach you guys some things and get you guys enrolled too.
Awesome, awesome. Isaiah, how you doing today?
Doing well, man. How about yourself?
Just living the dream, trying to at least.
Trying, trying,
Yeah,
trying.
no, well, thanks for being here, and I'm pretty excited to talk to you today. So just kind of jumping straight into it for everyone here. Um, let's start with this. Um, Tell us just kind of like a little bit about yourself. I know you told us a little bit about how you kind of came across me. What do you do? What do you do professionally right now?
Right now, I do something called, well, just mainly real estate investing in general, but what I do specifically is called Airbnb arbitrage. So it's basically like subleasing any type of unit, single family, multi-unit, whatever, and then putting that on Airbnb, VRBO, things of that nature. So that's what I do right now. I just went full time not too long ago. So it's been really good for me. It's been a fun business for sure.
You went full time. So what did you just like leave your job recently?
Yeah, I left my job probably what? It's been 5 months in March. I left in March of this year, so so yeah, about three. Yeah, so it's not that long ago, but I
Yeah.
just felt like going all in was the best idea to do it. So
Hey, love to hear it. How does it feel?
it feels good, man. It feels good to just be on your own and do your own thing instead of be on somebody else's time. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my own time, so
That's the way to do it. That's what a lot of people are trying to get to, and a
yeah,
lot of people have been doing that for a long time, you
yeah.
know. Feels good for me as well. So I completely get that. Well, cool, man. So the initial reason for you getting in touch with Sophia and I think, was basically just looking for funding to scale the arbitrage business, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
What is the plan with those funds? Like, does funding go into rent or mainly like furnishing? I imagine like both.
Yeah, pretty much both. Rents for sure, deposits, furnishings, all those things. It really helps out because doing the business, it is kind of a cash intensive business where you need, upfront funds to pay for certain things like that. But you get it on the back end. So it's just kind of it's not a get rich quick type of thing. It's definitely, month to month process, but it definitely is a great business.
Yeah, how much capital do you think on average is needed for like a short-term rental property? I mean, or an arbitrage property. I imagine
Yeah.
it varies like a ton just depending on what
Yeah.
you're trying to. But like for the average, so like let's say someone's watching this and they're considering doing that as a business model.
Yeah.
What should they be expecting in like funding required to get started with at least like one?
It just depends. Each market is different. Some markets favor like the smaller units, so like 1, 2 bedrooms. Some markets favor the bigger units, so you got to kind of do your research on that. So it kind of like you said, it kind of varies. I think the rule of thumb is usually like 3 to 5 thousand per room. So that's kind of like just a general rule of thumb. Just depends on how the person wants to do it. Whether you want to go like more luxury or kind of just mid level. But like I said, it kind of varies. But
Right. So if you're going for like a three bedroom, two bath in, some market like Dallas, Texas or something, for
yeah,
example, um, the kind of estimated
yeah,
number you're going to need would be 3 to 5 times three for three bedrooms. So
yeah,
maybe 9 to 15K, right?
exactly, yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Yep, yep.
I actually took a course on like Airbnb arbitrage. I think it's more like short-term rental arbitrage now is the
Okay.
terminology for it because people are starting to use a lot of other platforms now than Airbnb.
Sure.
Uh, I know there's like VRBO, obviously
Yep.
Airbnb. I actually my girlfriend's a travel nurse, just so you know, my fiance.
What? That's crazy.
So
That's crazy.
I live in the places that we find on Furnished Finder. So
Oh wow, okay. Sweet.
um,
Yeah, I'm on there too. So I'm on there too.
you're on there, yeah,
Yeah.
targeting like what travel nurses and
Yeah.
contractors and stuff.
All type of stuff. Yeah. Business professionals are up there as well. So that's a good place to list as well.
That's literally me. I'm your demographic, me and my
Yeah.
fiance.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I
Exactly.
work remote doing like literally this, right? And she's a travel nurse, so we kind of bounce around. But yeah, we're in Hollywood right now.
Nice.
I wonder if somebody like arbitraged our place and that's how we landed on it or
Exactly.
something. I
That's
don't
crazy.
know. Maybe someone I got funded.
Probably. Probably. Probably.
Cool, cool, man. So yeah, just kind of moving on to like the actual funding round itself, now that we've talked a little bit about you and your business.
Sure.
Um, how much funding was it that you initially were requesting when you came to us? Was it, I mean, I don't know, you tell me. I don't even remember actually.
I think it was 60,000. I think it was 60,000. And that was like I said to cover like the rents, deposits, furnishings for my new unit. So I think that's what it was, 60. Yeah.
I think so too. I think it
Yeah.
was 60 and then we got you funded, I think 60 as well, right? So we hit
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
perfectly. Um, how long would you say that took? Like what, like a month, I think?
Yeah. About a month. Pretty quick. I mean,
Pretty quick.
quick, so,
Yeah, I'm trying to remember like which exact funding products we went for, but I thought something that I actually would love to mention on this call too that I thought was really cool was that I remember you had the Chase Business credit card that you had
yeah.
some debt from a past deal. So
Exactly.
what we had ended up doing with you actually was we targeted some other banks elsewhere, ended up getting you like a balance transfer from a 0% business credit card at US Bank. And then as soon as you got those cards in the mail, we kind of just like 1-2 punch. You actually were the one who reminded us about the balance transfer, I want to say. So thank
Yeah.
you for that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Yeah.
otherwise we would have probably like liquidated the card, which
Yeah.
would have been fine as well.
Yeah.
But
Either way. Either way. Yeah.
mhm. But yeah, I thought that was kind of a crafty thing that we ended up doing in your funding round. So um yeah, cool, man. Well, how would you say the process was working with Sophia and I in total?
Man, it was smooth. It was smooth overall. It was a very smooth process, very rather quick process. You guys seem to have some good relationships in the right places, so um, definitely was smooth, quick. You guys just easy to work with, just very communicative, and just keeping me informed about while we're on that journey, let me know what's going on each step of the way. So that was good.
Something I always tell people is, as a funding service, when we're getting people funding, it's one, communication is super important because if we are not touching base with clients, like at least every couple of days,
Yeah,
this never really is an issue because we understand this, but clients could easily be like, hey, like what's going on? Like, is there any progress here? Or like, what's our next set of applications? And these are very reasonable things for clients to want to know. And then two, I've realized a lot of funding companies out there, you've never worked with a funding company, right? Have you?
no, I inquired about one before, but then they were just I didn't like what they were offering, but
Hmm.
again, what you guys offered was just kind of it was a no brainer for me. So
Well, I'm glad.
yeah,
Um, yeah, a lot of them I realize like when you're communicating information to financial institution on behalf of people, especially business owners who like regularly need capital,
yeah,
um, you got to take this stuff seriously. So like if we're going to be submitting applications alongside you, we want to keep you like 100% in tune with that process and like full transparency is really key here. So even if
definitely,
we're making an introduction between you and like our vice president at PNC, for example, we want to talk to you about like everything that they're looking for out of you so that you know how to field any questions and you know how to basically run that application with us as smoothly as possible. And of
exactly.
course, our job as well, not only is transparency, but we want to do all the legwork for you. So we try to take that load off of you,
Yeah,
to where for you, maybe there's some identity verification involved. Like, I think there was for like US Bank when we applied there, but
yeah,
for the most part, we try to handle that. So no, I really appreciate you kind of talking about how smooth the process was with us
yeah.
and
Definitely
communicate.
was smooth. Definitely was smooth. Yeah,
Yeah. So are you using the funds right now?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, they've already been not most of it, but a good amount of it I've used to pay down deposits and furnishing this new unit that I got. So definitely, yeah,
Deposits,
already.
what are those like security deposits basically? Because you're like
Yeah,
renting
security
out.
deposits. Yep. Yeah, security deposits. And then so two units I bought from another host, and then the third one is one I'm actually furnishing. So that's kind of just ordering stuff and you know just putting stuff in motion. So
So with that funding, you've already taken action on 3 units basically.
Yep. Yep.
That's massive.
Yeah.
You move quick, man, because we
Yeah.
just finished up with you.
Trying,
That's
man. Trying.
massive. Did
Yeah,
you
man.
already have these deals like in the works, like when we were first initially talking and you were just
Yes.
waiting for capital?
Yeah, I was just waiting on the capital. Yeah, that
Oh,
was the
that's
only thing I was
amazing.
waiting on. Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And if this is like prying, forgive me, but like what are your return times on those? Because as we know, 0% interest funding oftentimes is 0% interest for 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
And we can extend that. I don't know if I talked
Yeah.
to you about that, but we can always extend that for years. Yeah, Sophia and I know how to do that.
Okay.
So we
We
can
definitely need to
sidebar
talk
about
about that. We definitely need to talk about that.
yeah, absolutely. Happy to.
For sure.
But are you able to like make returns in such a quick time frame and just pay everything off pretty much?
Yeah, usually it's about 8 to 12 months, depending, like I said, it depends on how you're furnishing the place, whether you're going like top of the line or kind of like mid level. But yeah, usually it's like 8 to 12 months, usually. That's
That's
what I
wild.
like for at least. I won't go for something that's more than a year, usually.
That's more
Unless
than a year in terms of like a expected return on your investment.
exactly. Yep, exactly.
How do you project that? Like how do you get an idea of like what your ROI should be as far as a time frame? Do
Um,
you have like a calculation for that?
yeah, I mean to keep it simple, say it's gonna take me $10,000 to furnish a 3 bed, 2 bath house, right? Um, and my projected profit on that per month is $1,000. So I can, just using round numbers, I can project that I will make my money back in 10 months.
What are
If
you
my
using
initial
like
10,000.
are you using like Air DNA to get comparables basically or something like
Yeah,
that?
that's
Okay,
going more in depth. Yeah.
that's
They have
cool.
a lot of different. I love Air DNA. It's a lot of different information, a lot of insight. So
Yeah.
definitely.
And for anyone watching this as well, if anyone's interested in starting a business model like this, or even just getting into Airbnb in general, AirDNA is basically just like a public database that you can pay for access to that'll give you data on, I mean, I think Isaiah, it's like any zip code you type in, you can pay per
Yeah.
like code, and then it'll
Yeah.
give you all this data as far as like comparables, like three twos in that area or whatever you're looking for, studios, whatever.
Yeah.
It'll tell you their occupancy rating by season. It'll tell you, well, by month even. It'll tell you what they're charging, obviously. So this
Exactly.
way you're able to say, okay, in my hometown where I'm going to be starting my business, um, I know that this is going to cost me around like 10K, like you said, but then if other places are Airbnb their place out for that much, you can just kind of find the difference. Because your business model basically is just keeping the margin because you're paying a monthly fee via
Exactly.
to a landlord.
Exactly. Yeah. Precisely. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. And what I find cool as well that we kind of like leverage during the funding round is really what you're doing is providing like a marketing service to
Yeah.
landlords. I work with a lot of Airbnb arbitrage or
Okay.
STR arbitrage, forgive me,
Yeah.
students. So yeah.
New terms. New terms.
New terms. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite interesting because it's like you're in the real estate industry, but at the same time, you're not actually like investing in the real estate.
Yeah.
You're really paying to just market people's assets on
Exactly.
platforms, which is actually very favorable for getting business funding then.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So I like working with you guys. Well, cool, man. Cool, man. So I'm glad to hear that you already have deals in the works. I know that you recently just like 5.5 months ago or so became full time in this business model. You're scaling. So the funding we got you is clearly just used to scale.
Yeah.
This all being said, what's in your book for the next chapter? Like what's next for you?
Man. Definitely get more units. I want to get to about 10 to, I think my next goal is like 10 to 12. At that point, I'm going to have to reevaluate everything because once you get, higher up in unit counts, it's just things get hectic. You know what I mean? And I'm managing as well. So, it could be more than that, but just of my own, I want to have like 10 to 12. But then like probably like the next year, year and a half. But it's pretty easy to scale as long as you have the money to do it, some sort of funding to do it. I mean, you can scale pretty fast. Um, so
Yeah.
getting to that threshold of like 10 to 12, really, like you can do it in one deal, you can do it in two separate deals, three separate deals. Kind of just depends on who you're talking to and who you're, communicating with.
Are all of your units like in the same kind of neighborhood or like community? Maybe not neighborhood, but like the same like city maybe?
Yeah, same city, same general area, downtown Raleigh. It's kind of most of them, right?
Are you planning on getting like a property manager or something like that, or like someone to kind of manage these properties just in general?
Um, Not as of right now because the way I manage and use softwares and tools is just it's kind of hands off. Which the only time you're really putting in a lot of time is when you're setting up the property initially. After that, if you have the right tools and systems in place, you can pretty much take an hour. I use like an hour or two per property per week. So if you have 5 properties, expect to do about 5 to 10 hours a week, kind of managing all 5 of those properties.
So that's basically what you're doing right now. Like that's your labor input for this business.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I
You have
didn't realize
cleaners. I mean, you have cleaners. You have the
yeah.
automated messaging. You have all these different tools that are working for you. So I mean, the only times I'm really doing something if it's something that's a right now type of thing,
Hmm.
or if it's a one-off question that the automated messaging can't answer, and then I'll answer that.
Yeah, interesting. That's a good deal, man.
Yeah.
You're just borrowing the bank's money at 0% interest, starting the system with it, automating the majority of the system to software. You handle the little troubleshooting things. What'd you say? Like 1 to 2 hours per week per unit,
Yeah.
basically,
For
is
you.
what you're
Yeah.
talking
Exactly.
about. That's
Yeah.
crazy, man. That's such a great business model. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I told you, I have a friend who's doing that up in Reno. He's doing
Yeah.
arbitrage, and I got him funded as well. So he did the same thing. He's got like 20 or 30 units under his belt
Wow.
right now. So he's been doing it for years. He's been doing it for years. But yeah, he's making like hundreds of thousands a year. He's literally doing the whole digital nomad thing. And he ended up getting so bored of just scaling because his property manager finds deals for him now. So he doesn't even have to find deals. He just
That's golden. Yeah. That's
gets
golden.
another, business funding products,
Yeah.
credit card, line of credit, whatever, starts another one. And then what he does is towards like the fourth quarter of every year, he just uses all of his business credit to get more units. So then he writes that all off before the end of his fiscal year off his taxes. So then the following year, he doesn't owe any money in taxes because he used the bank's money to
Yeah.
scale,
Yeah.
wrote it all off, keeps all of his profits, no taxes.
Wow.
Crazy. So
Crazy. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we
That's
call
next level. Yeah.
debt canopy is what I call that, where basically you're just constantly leveraging. And so if you do it strategically, it's all a write-off. And um, but yeah, he got so bored he ended up getting into co-hosting now. So it's
Yeah.
something he can like do with himself, which is
Yeah.
not a bad problem
Yeah. It's
to
not extra money.
have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Isaiah, appreciate you being here, and kind of being a case study for Sophia and I. Now, for any of you watching this, if you're interested in maybe short-term rental arbitrage, getting into Airbnb, I know this community is just full of real estate investors. Isaiah, you've been a great example of how Sophia and I are getting people funded up to $150,000 in typically just a period of about 30 days. So if anyone watching this is interested in kind of getting like Isaiah has gotten here with us, go ahead and just drop the word funding down below and I'll shoot you a direct message. But Isaiah, you got anything else?
Nah, man. I appreciate you for having me on here and thank you for getting me funded. It's been, like I said, a smooth, quick process, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, appreciate you. You've been an awesome client and it was a pretty fun funding round with you, honestly. So, yeah, thanks, man. You guys all have a good day. Isaiah, appreciate you and we'll talk soon.
Thank you, man.
Bye.